Uh, Welcome to the Representative Faculty Senate meeting. We cannot tell you how pleased we are to have all of you here, to have the senators, but also the guests to be here to enjoy today's presentation by the President. I want to mention a couple of things. First of all, in terms of our process, before we invite President Theobald to come and to give his address. I'm Tricia Jones, President of the Faculty Senate, and I would love to be able to take credit for this wonderful event, but I can't. There are so many people who have contributed to today's situation, and I'd like to mention a couple of those. First of all, I'd like to thank the School of Tourism and Hospitality Management for hosting today's event, the first Faculty Senate meeting that we have ever had outside of Kiva Auditorium. So if we could give a nice round of applause. And of course to the Fox School of Business as well. And we actually have the Collegiate Assembly Chair-elect, Professor Michael Oak, who is here. Michael, I'm not sure where you are, but great. If you could stand up and just take a quick bow. And for those of you who have been seeing all the wonderful publicity about today's event, we want to thank the Vice President, Karen Clark, who has really done a fantastic job in terms of getting the word out and clearly inviting you all to be here. And also the Special Events, Executive Events Planning Director, Ginny Alvord, who has made our life extremely easy. Thank you very much for that. And of course, last but not least, Cheryl Mack, our Faculty Senate staff person, who makes everything that we do so much easier. What we're going to do today is that we're going to have the President's address, and then afterwards we'll have a short Q&A session. And as we've mentioned in the publicity, the President has the meeting with the Board of Trustees this afternoon, and so we're on a time schedule, but he has so graciously allowed us to schedule in 10-15 minutes for Q&A after his remarks. And when we get to that point, I'll go ahead and kind of set the queue so that people will be able to respond. We will have some roving microphones, so if you'd like to ask a question, let me know and we'll get you on the queue. After that, I know we will have some folks who will need to leave for the Board of Trustees meeting, but for especially the representative senators, we will be continuing with a panel of the past presidents of the Faculty Senate, saying some brief remarks about some of the issues that are uppermost on our minds in terms of issues of shared governance. Then some small group discussions feeding into some work in the Council of Deans retreat in December. And then we will go and handle regular Senate business. So if you are a senator, we'll be spending the last 15 or 20 minutes on that. All right. So I think that handles the details, and now to the event that we've all been waiting for. It was almost exactly a year ago today. It was actually Friday, October the 18th, when I think all of us remember standing out on this glorious fall day and enjoying one of the best events I know I have ever been a part of as a member of the faculty at Temple University. Just a wonderful inauguration of a great leader who has already done so many things. And I would like to say, as the President of the Faculty Senate, how deeply we are honored and how much we appreciate the fact that President Theobald, you chose the Faculty Senate as the place where you'd like to give your first inaugural address and State of the University address 1 year later. So, with no further ado, President Neil D. Theobald and his inauguration.
Well, good afternoon. I appreciate the invitation from my colleagues here on the Faculty Senate and from our President, Tricia Jones, to address the state of Temple University. I'd like to welcome my fellow faculty colleagues and faculty members, as well as the entire Temple community. Thank you for coming today to reflect on the future of this wonderful university. A primary goal is really to report back to you on progress in realizing the 6 commitments I made in the university to the university community in my inaugural address last October. In addition, I'd like to provide my perspective on opportunities that lie ahead. I am confident in saying that in the past 12 months, Temple has built phenomenal momentum because of the extraordinary efforts of our faculty We have bolstered our already strong reputation for teaching and research. At the same time, we've demonstrated again and again our commitment to Philadelphia and to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Some of the most recent efforts have included committing $1 million to create educational programs and career training for the Norris Apartments community over here in North Philadelphia as part of a $30 million project by the city and the federal government to revitalize the area. We hosted a symposium to encourage corporate and civic leaders to help increase college access and completion for low-income and underrepresented students. We've launched a $1.75 million initiative via our Kornberg School of Dentistry to improve access to oral health care for North Philadelphia children and their families. We're partnering with the Laborers District Council to create a job training academy at the site of the former William Penn High School, on the other side of that building there, just south of campus. Just recently, Temple's Computer Recycling Center also donated 60 top-of-the-line refurbished computers and 13 large plasma screens to Duckery Elementary School, part of 445 computers Temple has donated to North Philadelphia schools and community organizations over the past year. And our School of Education recently partnered with the School District of Philadelphia to allow Temple graduate students with a bachelor's degree in the STEM field to earn a master's degree through an education residency at a Philadelphia public school. The partnership is funded by a $2.2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Education. These efforts prove what I said in my inauguration. Temple is Philadelphia's public university. But the news about Temple's community engagement and our record-setting progress only begins to suggest how far we've come in realizing the vision laid out in my inaugural address 1 year ago. Let me start by discussing Temple's remarkable success in research and tech transfer. Over the past 5 years, Temple has created 13 startup companies to advance university-created technology. That's about equal to the number of startups we created in the previous 20 years. In fact, 60% of all licensing revenue Temple has ever received has come in the last 5 years, and we expect another significant increase this year. Last year was our best ever for externally sponsored research. We had an incredible $230 million in research expenditures, and that number is likely to increase this year. In the past 5 years, our outstanding faculty has led us to an astounding 32% rise in federal research funding. Everyone in this room knows this has come at a time when competition for federal awards has dramatically increased. In fact, today the federal government is funding fewer than 1 in 6 grant applications compared to 1 in 3 just a few years ago. This makes all of your achievements even more impressive. Let me describe a few of these projects to demonstrate their incredible range and quality. Temple Research made international headlines in July when Kamel Khalili, professor and chair of our Department of Neuroscience, and Wenhui Hu, associate professor of neuroscience, led the first research team to successfully eliminate the HIV-1 virus from human cells. Their research, which was funded by the National Institutes of Health, is being hailed as an important step toward a permanent cure for AIDS. This research success was covered in news outlets around the world, and a video about their work was the most watched ever on Temple's news site. Temple University is leading the way in developing a cure for AIDS. Dr. Khalili's and Dr. Hu's research is phenomenal, but it is certainly not the only life-changing research being performed at Temple. One new Temple research project could help alleviate something all of us hate: traffic jams. Just recently, a team of researchers led by Benjamin Theobald, assistant professor of mathematics, was awarded a 3-year, $1 million NSF grant to study how to control traffic flow using autonomous vehicles, otherwise known as driverless cars, which could debut on our roadways within the next decade. Using these vehicles could even reduce fuel consumption, which would have a tremendous economic and environmental impact. In addition, a team of Temple researchers, led by Alexandra Davatsis, assistant professor of Earth and Environmental Science, recently discovered rock in South Africa that shows the earliest known evidence of plate tectonics, the geological process through which the rock in the Earth's outer shell shifts and moves over time to form continents, mountains, oceans, and the planet's other geological features. Professor Davatsis and her team proved that this process was underway at least 240 million years earlier than previously thought. Their research was funded by the National Science Foundation. Discoveries like theirs that lead to the creation of new knowledge are the hallmark of a research university. Finally, the university and the College of Science and Technology recently received a $12 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to fund the Energy Frontier Research Center at Temple. Led by John Perdue, Cornell Professor of Physics and Chemistry, this institute will use the talents of 10 principal investigators from Temple. It will be among a select group of DOE-funded centers that transform the way energy is stored. In fact, there are more than 200 proposals for new Energy Frontier Research Centers, and Temple was one of only 10 that was funded. All of these are wonderful achievements from the past year that illustrates Temple is stepping up to take its rightful place among prominent public research universities in the United States and the world. And given our rapid ascent in college rankings, you can tell that our peer institutions are starting to take note. This year's edition of the U.S. News & World Report Best Colleges places Temple at number 121 overall among national universities. That is our highest rank ever and an increase of 11 spots in 4 years. That rise in prominence is likely to continue. Last month, Temple's Fox Chase Cancer Center, directed by Dr. Richard Fisher, was recognized as one of the top 20 cancer hospitals in America. Fox Chase has been designated a premier cancer center by the National Cancer Institute. This prestigious designation, which the center has held since 1974, is the result of a highly competitive process, and it provides Temple with significant federal funding. Since I arrived at Temple, I have said that our faculty members need more space and better space to maximize their talent as teachers, researchers, and scholars. Over the past year, we have made significant progress towards that goal. Indeed, Temple is in the midst of one of the largest campus development efforts in university history. In the past year, we have completed, or are nearing completion of, 11 major construction or renovation projects. These efforts have added or improved more than 560,000 square feet of teaching, research, and living space for the Temple community. At the beginning of last year, we also opened Morgan Hall. See right out that window there. A stunning residential and dining complex that is truly transforming our campus. The 1,300 beds in Morgan Hall represent a commitment to house Temple students on our campus and respond to the needs of the students and the desires of our neighbors. Morgan Hall demonstrates that Temple's commitment to student engagement and success continues to rise. Last Friday, we opened the Science Education and Research Center, a state-of-the-art 250,000 square foot facility that will provide abundant opportunities for exploration and investigation. CERC, one of the best science facilities on the East Coast, offers immense potential for Temple's future. So too does our new library, which will be located on the site of Barton Hall. This highly sophisticated structure will promote research and scholarship across disciplines and build our students' and faculty's capacity to explore the world. It will truly be the library of the 21st century. That leads to the next point I wanted to discuss today, innovation and entrepreneurship. The new library will be located just north of the Fox School of Business, which was recently ranked as one of the top 15 entrepreneurship programs in the country, with the 33rd best MBA program in the US. Temple's Technology Transfer Office is also located directly across from Fox and provides one-stop shopping for faculty members who are interested in technology commercialization. A barrier we face is the lack of an incubator facility where entrepreneurs can work collaboratively on their ideas. Dean Moshe Parat of Fox has begun exploring options for such a space. We expect to narrow down the options later this year and begin to address that need in early 2015. There are several other ways that Temple is supporting entrepreneurship. Visualize Temple, our campus master planning process, will foster innovation and creativity. We look forward to holding town halls to discuss this plan with faculty and staff in the coming weeks. We recently hired Ellen Weber as the Executive Director of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Institute. Ellen has more than 25 years of experience working with emerging and Fortune 500 companies. In addition, tech transfer remains strong, as I previously discussed. And our entrepreneurship is supporting the wider community. A good example is the Urban Apps and Maps Studio, where Temple undergraduates and local high school students develop startups and technologies that tackle urban challenges, including a new app called Gotcha that allows people to share information on crimes they've witnessed. The Apps and Maps Studio perfectly demonstrates the types of students who are attracted to Temple. Energetic, hardworking, self-starting. The teaching, research, and living facilities I described will be increasingly important in the coming years as the caliber of Temple's student body continues to improve. That brings me to the next point I wanted to address today, Temple's exceptional students. This fall, we welcomed 4,483 freshmen across the university, a new Temple record. These students were also the most academically accomplished and diverse freshman class in Temple history. Their average high school GPA was 3.47, a Temple record. There was a 10% rise in students who identified as something other than white. Plus, Temple had the largest ever class of new honors students, as well as the largest ever cohort of international students. We welcomed more than 900 international students from 76 countries. The 3 countries sending the most students to Temple were China, with 388, South Korea, with 79, and Brazil, with 73. Next week, I travel to Taipei and Beijing to meet with the faculty, deans, and presidents of partner institutions. It is always a privilege to represent Temple University abroad, particularly when, as on this trip, I'm working with Joanne Epps on behalf of the wonderful Beasley School of Law. The many years of committed global engagement, highlighted by the groundbreaking Rule of Law program, whose 15th anniversary we will celebrate in Beijing, makes Temple University a trusted, respected, and highly valued partner in international collaborations. The quality and integrity of our programs and our faculty are known throughout the world. On next week's trip, we will visit alumni and strengthen our ties with Taiwanese and Chinese universities by signing agreements that will greatly increase the potential for educational and research partnerships. Temple already has 150 international agreements with foreign institutions, and we continue to find new ways to work with our colleagues across the world. According to early numbers, more than 1,000 Temple students studied abroad last year. That is important because global education will be increasingly important in the 21st century. Whether students are from the Philippines or right here in Philadelphia, they will need international experience to achieve their highest ambitions. In our increasingly interconnected world, where economic highs and lows in one country can impact billions of people across the world, global understanding is a practical necessity for students. So too is an affordable, high-quality college education. Our tremendous success in attracting talented, diverse students would have been impossible without concerted effort to enhance our affordability. Temple added almost $10 million in student financial aid this year. That follows a more than $8 million increase last year, bringing our total pool of available financial aid to about $100 million. Financial aid gets students through the door. Programs like Fly in 4 keep them here and help them progress quickly towards completing their degree. As most of you know, Fly in 4 is Temple's innovative, one-of-a-kind program to help students graduate on time and limit their debt. All students who sign up for Fly in 4 will be given tools and resources to complete their degrees in 4 years. 500 students with the greatest financial need were provided $4,000 annual scholarships so they can spend less time working off campus and more time focusing on their studies. In the first year of Fly in 4, we hope that 75% of incoming students and transfer students would sign up. Instead, a remarkable 88% of the new class has signed up for Fly in 4. That is an incredible commitment from our students. The next step is for us to help them realize this goal. Our students need advising that can keep them on track. Temple has hired 60 full-time advisors since 2006, but our students also benefit from having faculty members give them academic and career planning advice. Temple has also implemented a new decentralized budget model that seeks to empower schools and colleges with greater control over their own destinies, while also allowing faculty members to have more input on budgeting. Many of you have participated in forums on this topic, and I'm grateful for your input. We're also making enhancements to our online delivery of services, including new web-based course bulletins for undergraduates and graduate students, and an enhanced degree audit reporting system. All of these efforts will help Temple students graduate on time and limit their debt. But for us to continue providing students with these tremendous opportunities, we must also enhance accessibility. I was thrilled this summer to announce the Temple Option, an alternative admissions path for students who show great potential for success but don't perform well on standardized tests. At Temple, our mission is clear. We are committed to providing talented and motivated students from all backgrounds with access to a high-quality college experience and a Temple degree in 4 years. With the Temple Option, we're opening doors for more first-generation students and those from underserved communities whose enormous academic potential may be overlooked by conventional measures of achievement. To recall a term from my inaugural address, here on the urban frontier, it is critical that Temple lead the way in developing valid and reliable measures of all students' ability and potential to succeed in college. The Temple Option was not the only milestone I had the privilege of announcing this summer. Temple also set a new fundraising record for the second year in a row. We raised nearly $68 million in new gifts and commitments, which surpasses the previous record of $65.8 in 2013. Our fundraising success was driven by support for all of you, our faculty, which topped $7 million. As I've said on numerous occasions, philanthropic support has the power to transform Temple. With the help of our alumni and friends, we can more vigorously pursue our fundamental mission in teaching and research while expanding the benefits we provide to the city, the Commonwealth, and indeed the world. All of the record-breaking numbers I've shared today in fundraising, enrollment, research, and more speak in different ways to the outstanding caliber of you, Temple's faculty. You draw students from across the country and the world. You inspire loyalty and generosity. And you create and preserve knowledge through world-class teaching, research, and creative activity in an increasingly competitive environment. I encourage everyone in the Temple community to adopt an attitude of relentless but responsible optimism. Our teaching and academic fundamentals remain strong, as do our financial fundamentals. This strength gives us the opportunity to emerge from our country's current economic malaise faster and stronger than many comparable institutions of higher education. To realize that opportunity, we must strive to maintain the momentum we now have and preserve and build on the hard-won gains of the last few years. In that spirit, I am proud to announce the creation of a program that will foster path-breaking research, scholarship, and creative activity in the arts and humanities. My goal is to seek foundation funding for this program, but in the interim, I will provide $250,000 from my office reserves for each of the next 2 years as seed money. This $500,000 will provide a tremendous boost to creativity in the humanities and the studio and performing arts. These grants will support individual and collaborative projects involving Temple University faculty members. The goal is to spur books and monographs, conference presentations, art exhibitions, and performances of various kinds that highlight the excellence of our arts and humanities faculty. I also foresee journal articles, new works of art, musical compositions, novels, short stories, poems, and films and videos. Just as the $500,000 committed today is seed money for an effort to generate foundation support for this initiative, I believe these university funds will allow awardees to compete more effectively for additional external support. The demand for resources to fuel our faculty's innovation, research, and scholarship in the arts and humanities more than justifies this investment. We hope to fuel a new age of creativity at Temple, whose impact will be felt around the world and the nation. As a result, we expect the arts and humanities at Temple University to grow even stronger in stature and quality. Throughout these remarks, I've outlined the tremendous accomplishments of the Temple community over the past year. These achievements convince me that we are on the right track and that we will achieve our goals and aspirations. They signify a new era has dawned at this fine university, and you can feel it in the attitude and the spirit of all who teach, study, or live here. As I mentioned at the outset, it has been 1 year since I delivered my inaugural address. At that time, I committed to you I would tirelessly tell the Temple story wherever I go so that the world would know how great a Temple education really is. I want the world to know how terrific our faculty members truly are. Allow me to conclude by briefly indicating how we plan to continue telling the Temple story. Many of you engaged in the new marketing initiative that will be unveiled later this fall. Your input and ideas were invaluable. The new campaign will vibrantly tell the Temple story through images, words, and sounds. It will take all that you love so much about this university and broadcast it to the world. Today, it is my privilege to share with you the debut video of this new campaign. Since all of you are crucial to the Temple story, I want you to get the first glimpse of how we will present this campaign to the wider community. As you watch, I would suggest that you think about the message as the elevator speech of the campaign. The campaign itself will provide the opportunity for a broader, more nuanced picture of this great university than is possible in a 60-second spot. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see. So, play the video.
You won't hear us talking about the good we've done, because we're busy doing the next thing. Won't find us patting ourselves on the back, because we've got both hands full. Won't see us stopping to admire a job well done, because we simply never stop. We are the Temple type. Say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment, because it's that uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. Temple is not a path. It's a current that runs in all directions and leads us everywhere we want to go. And as long as that current is surging through our veins, we will always be Temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
Well, I hope that video resonated with all of you. You will see more of Temple's marketing effort in the coming weeks. This is the first piece to come out. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon and to share with you my view on what we've accomplished to date and what our future holds. So, one more thing. As we justifiably take pride in what we've achieved, let us also rededicate ourselves to our vital mission. Let us stay committed to the important task of continuing to build Temple University into a place that is worthy of our past and well positioned for the future. Thank you. And do you want to head up the questions, or how do we want to do this? Anyone have any questions, comments, criticisms? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. It's actually for individual faculty, so it's not through the school level. The applications will go to the research office. Basel Masucci will be in charge of that. The funds will be available in January, the next second semester. So we've already identified the funds. It's just a matter of getting the applications in, going through and assessing which are the projects to fund. So nearly immediately. Is Michelle here? Anything you would add to that?
We are planning to have a fund that is going to support any faculty member who has research in the arts or humanities. It doesn't matter what discipline you're involved in. So for those of you who are worried that you're a humanities scholar in a department that might be more multidisciplinary, you're included in this. We also will have dollars available for faculty for individual projects as well as for collaborative projects. So there will be an announcement that comes out of my office later on this fall. Applications will be due February 1st.
Okay, great. Anything else? Well, I very much enjoyed this opportunity. I was talking with Tricia over the summer, and we were saying, what do we do a year later after the inaugural address? Quite often, all of these commitments, priorities, and such are set, and there's really no way you could set out a white paper to the community or something like that to provide you with the report of how well we have done and where we're still continuing to work. But she and I came up with the idea, why don't we follow up with a similar address? And my thought is to do something like this each fall with the Faculty Senate and report to you our progress, our challenges, and basically hear from all of you of where we've been and where we're going. So thank you for attending, and please get in touch with me afterwards if there's any other questions you have on any of the material today. Have a great day. Thanks.